Hey guys, what's going on? REVan Evan. We're out here in California. Abe and I are out having some fun. We drove the Mach 1. We stopped in to see the guys at Celine. And we're gonna pop in on my buddy Matt D'Andrea. He doesn't even know we're coming. We're just gonna see if he's around the shop. He's got some cool Ford projects in the works usually, so let's go in the shop and see what's going on.
How'd you get with this part of the country?
Hey, you said to stop by. Matt always said stop by if I'm in town, so.
All right, buddy.
What's going on? And you know Abe.
Yeah, how are you guys?
Hey, what's going on?
So, what do you got cooking? You always said come by the shop, see what's going on. If we're out in LA, we're out in LA.
Yeah, so, you know, I do the podcast Carcast with Adam Carolla and Goldberg. We do 2 shows twice a week, and Adam's shop has been getting pretty full over there with his racing car collection.
Right.
It's got 13 Paul Newman racing cars now, which is
You guys did the documentary.
Yeah, we did the documentary about that, and we did the 24-Hour War, Shelby American, and Willie T. Ribs.
The 24-Hour War was amazing.
I'm glad you liked it. Thank you.
Yep.
Not the Newman film, but the other 3 documentaries are all on Netflix. You can watch those.
Right.
Which everybody has Netflix now. But this is my new shop. Now that Adam's place is getting full,
Right.
I decided to move over here. It's much closer to where I live, and Adam is out in Glendale. I've got my 2 projects here, my Fords.
2 of my favorite vehicles.
Yeah, mine too. Well, we kind of grew up with these, right?
True.
And I was lusting after these back in the day when you were writing about them, right?
Right.
In the magazine when these things were just coming out. Here's the 95 Lightning.
Yeah, take us through what you got going on. 95 Lightning and obviously 93 Cobra. They're not stock.
No, they're not stock, but they're both projects in the works. So
Right.
the Cobra, I'll show you, ended up being a big project, so I didn't get a chance to really drive it while I was building it. So
Right.
this one, I wanted to do some work on it, drive it, talk about it on the shows, do some more.
It's always good to have a project that still runs, because as soon as
Yeah.
you make them not run, they take months or years
Yeah.
until you finish them, and you sit there looking at them and you lust and you dream. But if you keep one running, I always say keep one car running.
That's it. So we got this and keeping it running until we do the engine swap. And the engine swap is planned around the next car that I've got coming. I ordered a new 2021 Mustang Mach 1.
Ooh, well, we just drove
You were
that
just out there
yesterday.
driving, yeah.
Which is what we talked about while you knew I was out here.
Yeah.
So Matt saw my Facebook post. He's like, dude, you got to come by the shop. So
Yeah, that's it. You got to come by.
We came by the shop, but I can't talk about the Mach 1. That's the next video that's coming up, so
All
you
right.
definitely want to
You
stay
can't talk
tuned.
about that car yet until we shut that camera down, then you can tell me about it. But we painted it, we lowered it. It's got a lot of interior work done to it. You know, it's got a sound system and it's got some upgrades, but cosmetically what you'll see is my friend Brad Fanshaw, who I do Shift and Steer podcast with.
Yeah.
He owns Bond Speed Wheels, and he custom made me a set of wheels. So we took the original Lightning wheel, we scanned it, made a program, and then we cut a one-off set of billet wheels that looks a little bit like the original wheel, quite a bit like the original wheel, but now they're 18-inch in diameter. They're directional, left and right side, and they're staggered, 18 by 9s and 18 by 10s. And this allowed us to put a 6-piston, 14-inch brake system in the front.
Absolutely love, because it's got somewhat of the stock look, but it fits. It's like still period correct since you kept the black paint, the original stickers. It's lowered, but you didn't go with some crazy super modern looking over the top wheel. It still has that Lightning appearance.
There's so many of these trucks on the road that the wheel, even if you don't like the original design of the wheel,
Right.
it's the iconic thing that you see it from 20 feet away, 50 feet away, you go, oh man, that's a Lightning. And then when you get up on it, you realize it's a real Lightning. So we took the door panels out, doing a one-piece glass conversion here. But on the inside, you guys can take a look in there whenever. And we just added some Alcantara to the dash and the headliner and the door panels, added a touchscreen, built in an audio system. We've got speakers up on the dash. It's all JL audio and Alpine. The floating touchscreen is in there. There's cameras front and rear. And then, you know, we put a power tonneau and stuff on it. But the door panels are just, we're going to cut into the door and do the glass.
Right. It looks fantastic. It's got some modern touches, but I love that you kind of left the goodness of the 95 Lightning alone.
the big ugly steering wheel, right?
I love it, though.
It's right. So we just took it off, wrapped it in leather, did some contrast stitching and stuff in it, left the airbag. Hey, that's the safety. It's going to keep me alive.
Exactly. I see you got some modern but stock-looking badges.
Yeah, we reproduced the badges in kind of a satin black, front and rear.
Look good though.
And
oh, Powerdyne, dude.
so when I bought this truck, I bought it used. It came down from Oregon, I believe, and I kind of traced the paperwork on it and
Right.
found out that the original owner was a guy in the Midwest, but he worked in the service department at a Ford dealer, and he bought it new. And he immediately went to not just a Powerdyne supercharger. This is the Ford Motorsport Powerdyne supercharger with the carb certification in it. It probably just makes more heat than it does boost.
You can see the belt slip and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I was on every one of those.
I changed the pulley, and it has kind of a
Did you go to Grip Tech?
Yeah, like a texture. And we actually sent this out and rebuilt it so it's vented now, because the thing with the Powerdynes, they get a lot of heat, and the heat is what kills them. So it's got a new impeller and it's got a vent on it, and
That's so neat to see.
quite a bit of reduction in heat, but everything else is pretty much stock. I mean, I've got an all aluminum Dart 427 small block, and I got a set of Dart heads, or 225 cc heads. Custom blower cam for it. It's going to get a big Pro Charger on it.
Nice.
So we're going to cut a bunch of weight off the front, not just with the engine, but with the suspension as well. The twin I-beam suspension is very heavy. We'll probably end up cutting about 200, maybe 250 pounds off the front end of the truck. That also includes moving batteries to the back, which we've already done, some of the rear bumper. The suspension, though, is going to be very cool. So the suspension, it's difficult to find something for a sport truck like this. There's no real bolt-on kit for that twin I-beam suspension. So we're going to cut that off. We're going to an IFS setup. So it's going to have upper and lower control arms with coilovers.
Right.
The rear leaf springs, it's going to get a 4-link with coilovers and a panhard bar.
Oh, perfect.
But I'm working with my friends at JRI Shocks. We work with them on a number of Adam Carolla's racing cars.
Sure.
And they have a system that allows me to change the ride height, but it's not air ride. It does it electronically. So the body of the shock has an electric motor, and it changes the length. So it doesn't change the spring or the collars, just the body of it. So I can actually lower. It's more like the front axle lift on a McLaren or the Porsche.
Right.
But I've got it front and rear. So I can level it, I can lower it. But in addition to that, all of the compression and rebound settings are going to be controlled with an 8-inch touchscreen in the vehicle.
Oh, neat.
And I can program it any way that I want, and then I can set presets like a modern car. So I can take this thing on the freeway, hit street mode, and have it ride soft and not sit too high.
Right.
And then I can do a track mode. It'll lower the truck, stiffen up the suspension. I can even program a drag race
I was
mode.
going to say, knowing you know you're going to go to the track.
Yeah.
Now, please tell me you're going to leave the Lightning intake manifold, because that's part of the history of the truck.
So it was meant to be sort of period correct. So we took a Lightning manifold, ported it, cut it, added material, shaved it down again, did as much as we could. It'll probably be a little bit of a bottleneck still, but I'm going to throw a bunch of boost into it.
Who cares?
We'll be fine.
It's definitely not optimum for a 427 killer supercharged engine, but it just looks too cool to not leave on.
I mean, I don't know about our fuel out here, our crappy California fuel.
That's right, you got 91. We got 93 in Florida.
That's right, but I think we could get somewhere around that 800 to 900 horsepower range.
Yeah, that'll be plenty for this thing.
You want to check out the Cobra?
Absolutely, let's do it.